Alright. People always quote other people when they start speeches, but I've never been an advocate of that policy. Which is why I'm going to quote myself instead. An excerpt from my 8th grade graduation speech. Start quote. A couple of months ago, my friends told me that they wanted me to write a speech for graduation. I shrugged it off. They then told me that they would create a petition of 100 signatures if I actually agreed to do it. I shrugged it off again as a joke. They then came back the next day with over 100 signatures. End quote. This was a story of how I was coerced into writing a graduation speech. So basically today I'm going to be speeching about a speech. It's like meta. But there's more to this story than just a silly situation. Let's start from the top. The year is 2017, and my time as an 8th grader is about to come to a close. Atop a mountain of responsibilities, I spy, in the corner of my eye, a flyer that reads, 8th grade promotion speech auditions. You know that haze you get whenever you're thinking about whether you should commit to something? Yeah, well, I was in there. And basically, my useless excuse of a brain opted for a third option, which was to worry about it later. 2 weeks pass. During recess, my friend Ryan approaches me. We were pretty good friends at the time, and he asked me with an odd tone of conviction. He said, "Hey Leo, if I were to make a petition of 100 signatures for you to write the speech, would you do it?" And in my head I was like, okay, this could be cool, but also, well, Ryan was kind of a shy kid, so I also thought, well, okay, he's not going to do it. And so I said, sure. Huge mistake. The next day, at lunch, I see a crowd of people huddled over a single piece of paper. Holy crap. 5 minutes pass, 10 signatures. 10 minutes, 20 signatures. 20 minutes, 60 signatures. By the time lunch is over, we have 100 signatures. And so at first I thought, hey, this is kind of cool. Like, I can write a speech now. But also I was thinking, oh God, it's gonna suck. And so fast forward to me sitting down on my desk in front of a blank document. There's nothing. I have no ideas. So I whip out a draft in about 3 hours and I show it to my parents. And I expected an easy okay. They did not like it. They said that it was a stale draft that really didn't have a personal message and also didn't show any of my personal effort. And that was what was weird, because usually my parents were the one who came to me for corrections. And that's when I knew there was a problem with the core of my speech. Almost as if I was writing it because I was obligated to, not because I wanted to. Before I started drafting, I had this dream. In this dream, I was standing on a podium in front of a sea of people, and I was having a conversation with them. And I was pouring my thoughts out, and most importantly, I was having fun. My problem was, I didn't know how to get to that podium, and I didn't know how to get to that dream. So, instead of listening to my parents' advice about digging deeper and trying to find a true personal connection, I decided to opt for the easy route. I basically asked my writing teacher, who was someone I looked up to at the time, to write the entire thing for me, and he did. And at the time I thought, I was a bit hesitant, but I also thought, this is fine. If this passed, then that means I wouldn't have to stress over how crap I was at speech writing. And so I came home, showed this next draft to my mom, and she was extremely confused. And she said to me, "This isn't your speech." And I read over that speech again and saw lines like, "You probably don't even know who I am," or "Hold the hand of the person next to you." And that's when this speech that looked really good at first looked like complete garbage, because it didn't reflect who I was, and it didn't reflect the situation at all. In fact, it even contradicted it. From then on, I decided that on. Hold on. Okay. And that was when I decided that I was going to need an entire revamp of this speech. However, I really didn't have the motivation to go on. Eventually, after 2 to 3 more drafts, I couldn't see an end. And that was when I realized, for the past 2 weeks of me drafting this entire speech, that was all I had ever felt. Pressure. The second Ryan had suggested the idea of writing this speech to me, I was actually, I was like taken aback, honestly, because I didn't think he would get the signatures necessary. But more important than that, I thought he was joking, because just the idea of me going on stage to represent an entire group of people, to speak for them and to inspire them, I didn't feel like I was ever experienced with that role. And so I had 2 problems now. One, I had to live up to the expectations of my friends, but I was also unsure whether I was really qualified for this or not. And I was actually trying to run away from this confrontation. As you can see with my first draft, it was a lackluster draft, and my second draft, which I pinned the blame on from my writing teacher. And so, eventually, I sat at my desk, ripping my hair out, and my dad came upstairs, and I told him, I got nothing left. I have no idea what to write about. And then that's when he told me, you're not trying hard enough. You have to think about your friends, then think about yourself. Tell them exactly what you need to, and if they believe in you, why shouldn't you? And that's when I knew that even if I wasn't cut out for this kind of thing, even if it was a joke, this was the opportunity that I was given, and I had to take it. From that moment on, each draft felt like an improvement. Instead of relying on other people to call me out for my mistakes, I was the one who thought I could do better with each draft. And by the time I got to that final draft, I saw that dream. And on that podium, I caught up to it.
A couple of months ago, my friends told me that they wanted me to write a speech for 8th grade promotion. I shrugged it off. They then told me that they would create a petition of 100 signatures if I agreed to actually do it. I shrugged it off again. Let's go. The next day, they came back with over 100 signatures. I don't think I remember being so motivated in my entire life.
And so, through this, I've learned something. Pressure isn't always a bad thing. In fact, you need it, especially for things that you really care about. And especially if you want a job well done. And so, my lesson is, if the stars align and you see that dream in front of you, don't give up on it. Because as a human being, you will make it happen. Thank you.